Pay attention to the quietest person in any room. Not the loudest, not the most confident looking, not the one commanding attention, the quietest one. Because that person already knows something everyone else in that room does not. They know that the moment you open your mouth, you hand people a map to your mind. Your fears, your insecurities, your desperation, your need to be liked, your need to be heard. Every word you speak is data, and data can be used against you. The loudest person in the room is the most readable. The most readable person is the most controllable. And the most controllable person never wins, not in relationships, not in power dynamics, not in any room where something is at stake. This video is going to teach you the dark psychology of silence. Why it works, how it affects every person around you neurologically and psychologically, and the exact method to build it, so that you become the person in every room that nobody can read, nobody can predict, and nobody can control. Layer 1. What silence does to other people's bra-ins. Here's what happens neurologically when you go silent in a conversation. The human brain is a prediction machine. It is constantly running models of the people around it, trying to predict what they will say next, what they want, what they fear, how they will react. This prediction system runs automatically and unconsciously. It is always on. When you talk, you feed that prediction system. You give it data. You make yourself easy to model, easy to predict, and easy to manipulate. When you go silent, you starve the prediction system. And a starved prediction system does something very specific. It becomes anxious. It starts generating its own data to fill the gap. It starts projecting, assigning motivations, emotions, and intentions to you that may have nothing to do with what you are actually thinking. Dr. Robert Sapolsky's research on stress and social behavior shows that uncertainty is one of the most powerful psychological stressors that exists. Not knowing what someone is thinking activates the same stress response as a physical threat. Your silence is not passive. It is actively generating psychological pressure in everyone around you, without you saying a single word. This is why silence feels heavy, why it feels loaded, why people rush to fill it. The silence is not empty. It is full of pressure that other people are creating inside their own minds, and then attributing to you. You do not need to threaten anyone. You do not need to intimidate anyone. You only need to stop feeding their prediction system, and their own brain will do the rest. Layer 2. The 3 types of dangerous silence. Not all silence is the same. There are 3 types. Each one does something different. Each one is a weapon with a specific purpose. The first is strategic silence. This is the silence you deploy in the moment someone expects you to react. Someone challenges you, insults you, tests you, tries to destabilize you. The average person reacts immediately, defends, explains, gets emotional, gives the challenger exactly what they were looking for, proof that the attack landed. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change." But the key word is show, not pressure, not manipulation, not reaction baiting. You choose when you respond. You choose what you give. That choice is power. The second is observational silence. This is the silence you maintain while everyone else talks. While others speak, you watch. You collect data. You learn who each person is trying to appear to be versus who they actually are. You learn who is insecure, who is performing, who is genuine, who is dangerous. Ayanokoji Kiyotaka, the character that embodies this most completely, does not speak unless he has already calculated the outcome of speaking. Every word he releases is chosen. Every silence he maintains is intentional. The information asymmetry he creates by observing without revealing is the foundation of every advantage he holds. The third is the silence after the weapon. This is the most powerful and most underused. You deliver a sentence, a question, a statement, an observation, and then you stop. You say nothing more. You let the sentence sit in the room and do its work. Most people undermine their own most powerful moments by immediately following them with explanation, justification, or softening. They land the hit and then apologize for it. The silence after the weapon is what gives it weight. What forces the other person to sit inside what you just said with no rescue from further words. Layer 3. Why most people cannot be silent. Here's the psychology of why this is hard, and why most people will never do it even after watching this video. Silence requires tolerating uncertainty, and most people are psychologically addicted to certainty, especially social certainty. They need to know how people feel about them in real time. They need the feedback loop. The laugh, the nod, the agreement, the reaction that tells them they are okay, they are liked, they are safe. Talking is how most people manage social anxiety. Every word is a bid for connection, approval, or control. And every bid reveals the need underneath it. Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyya wrote about the concept of the nafs al-mutmainah, the tranquil soul. The soul that does not need constant external validation to know its own worth. He described it as the highest state a person can reach, not because it is detached from people, but because it is not dependent on them. It does not need the room's approval to feel stable. It can sit in silence because its stability comes from within. This is not coldness. This is not arrogance. This is the psychology of someone who has stopped outsourcing their sense of safety to other people's reactions. The person who can sit in silence without anxiety, in any room, with any person, under any pressure, is the most psychologically powerful person in that room. Because they have removed the lever everyone else uses to influence them. Identity align. If you are still watching, you are not the person who needs to fill every silence. You already understand that something is given away every time you speak unnecessarily. Now you are going to learn how to keep it. The weapon. 3 techniques. Technique 1, the 2-second rule. 2 seconds every single time. Not just in big moments. Every time, until it becomes who you are. Technique 2, the information diet. Starting today, you stop volunteering information that was not directly requested. Someone asks how you are, you say fine. You do not elaborate. Someone asks what you think. You give the minimum that answers the question. You do not explain your reasoning unless explaining serves you specifically. This is not rudeness. This is information asymmetry. The less people know about your internal state, your plans, your fears, and your reactions, the less leverage they have. Every unprompted detail you share is a tool you hand someone that they may or may not use against you. Dr. Andrew Huberman's research on social cognition shows that people form their strongest impressions of others not from what they are told, but from what they observe. When you speak less, people project more, and what they project is almost always more powerful than what you would have said. Technique 3, the silence after. After you deliver anything significant, a question, a statement, an answer, a boundary, you stop. You do not soften it. You do not explain it. You do not fill the silence that follows with reassurance. You let it land. You let it sit. You let the other person live inside what you just said without giving them the comfort of your voice to hide behind. This takes practice because the silence after will feel uncomfortable, especially to you. Your instinct will be to rescue the moment. Resist it. The discomfort you feel is their discomfort being reflected back at you. It belongs to them. Let them carry it. Homework. 1 practice. 7 days. Every day for the next 7 days, you identify one moment where you were about to speak unnecessarily and you stay silent instead. Just 1 moment per day. 1 bid for approval, 1 explanation that was not asked for, 1 reaction that could have been withheld, and you hold it. Then you write 1 sentence that night. What was the moment, and what did staying silent feel like? By day 7, you will have 7 data points about the specific situations that trigger your compulsion to speak. Those trigger points are the exact places your psychological power is currently leaking. Knowing them is the first step to closing them. 1 moment, 1 sentence, 7 days, that is the practice. Close. The loudest person in the room is the most predictable. The most predictable person is the most controllable. You now understand why silence is not absence. It is pressure. It is data starvation. It is the removal of every lever people use to read you, predict you, and move you. 3 types of silence, 3 techniques, 1 daily practice. The next time you walk into a room, you do not need to announce yourself. You do not need to perform. You do not need to fill a single second of air with words that give your power away. You only need to be still, and let them wonder. Subscribe.